actually energy deprived, you're gonna get brain fog, but you actually start to get like adrenaline from being deprived because your body's like signaling to go do stuff. And it's trying to like metabolize like stored energy too.
That's sick.
But yeah, like when I'm fasting or I'm avoiding food for some period during the day, I'm noticeably more sharp.
Do you fast often?
I intermittent fast every day.
How many hours do you not eat?
6 to 8 when I wake up.
What time do you wake up?
10 a.m. something.
I thought you were a night owl.
Yeah, I've been a little bit better.
What are we doing right now, Derek?
I'm just doing like a warm-up for buys right now.
Okay.
I always get terrified that I'm gonna like rip my bicep off.
Is that your biggest fear?
One of them.
Do you deal with anxiety?
I think for the stuff on my plate, I do a reasonable job.
Yeah.
But yeah, I definitely get stressed. What about you?
I have my fair share of anxiety. My biggest fear, at least for my job, is making a video that people will watch and go, damn, the other ones were better.
Right.
Like that's one of my biggest fears. Okay. Juicy Pump is acquired. You feel that gun. Okay, they're in there. They're in there. What do you think?
I think, I don't know. You look solid.
Do you approve?
Yeah, I do.
So what's your goal?
I kind of just train for like maintenance at this point, so it's kind of like hypertrophy style, 3 sets of whatever exercise I'm doing.
Yeah.
Go to failure on the last set.
What's your top like 2 or 3 priorities?
It's funny because one of them is just I'm failing miserably at, which is content frequency. Probably just stay on top of product development because stuff does get bottlenecked if I'm not on top of it. If I don't respond to emails or texts and stuff, then stuff just sits up in the air and business does not happen.
When you first started Gorilla and YouTube and all of this, did you think that it would come to this like craziness of a world that you're gonna do?
At the time, it's like a new dopamine hit of holy level thing, and then it's your new baseline. Like I still remember watching your eating like fill in the blank person.
Yeah, bro.
And those videos are now like those people would collab with like you oftentimes.
That's crazy, bro. Have you noticed? I retired the earring, bro.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I'm growing up, guys. I got a house and I retired the earring. Whoa! Dude, the guns are out.
Yeah.
Let's go. How big were your delts in that one photo?
I've never measured them.
How do you measure that?
I don't know.
I don't even know how. Yeah. Are mine close? They've got to be somewhat close. No one's nodding their head, damn it. I hate this game. You want to know why I'm going up the weight right now?
Because more plates.
Because more plates, more days. By far, all the exercises, all the workouts, what's your favorite muscle to train?
I guess delts.
What else is new?
We're done on this?
Yeah, we're done. Yeah, put the weight away. I don't need it anymore, man. It's so nice having a weight boy around. Are you ready for this?
Yep.
All right, big boy.
I need more YouTuber energy. I'm not high enough.
You just gotta become annoying, like me. You're not natty, right?
Seriously.
Did you ever have like health risks or any issues with your health?
I've had like pretty scary blood pressure readings, but that's like transient.
Yeah.
So it got to the point when I was at like 265 or something where I would sit down and fall asleep within 5 minutes wherever I was. Yeah.
That's terrifying.
Yeah.
Who's your favorite training partner that you've ever trained with, even if just once?
That's a tough call.
It's me. Why are you not saying me? I'm right here, man. Square up. If you were to do a boxing match, who would you go against? Besides me.
I don't even know, dude.
Would you go against Larry Wheels?
Probably not. I've never even thought about something like that.
Really?
Yeah, what about you?
For social media presence, like me and Will Tennyson, but he's like 200, bro. See, if I just had unnatty delts, bro.
Game over.
When should I hop on TRT, man?
Maybe you wait like a decade.
A decade!
What are you, like 23?
I'm 23, bro.
I think you're good.
So you don't recommend me hopping on that TRT juice?
I think you're good.
Stuff.
I think you're good, dude.
Damn it.
How's your...
Great, man. Thanks.
I think you're good.
Hanging to the left today.
That's a solid...
How about you?
It's great.
We're gonna go give out Gorilla Mind Energy to a bunch of subscribers.
Hi. not subscribed right now to me and Darren, this is a perfect opportunity to go.
Some individuals, it's the difference between them needing an AI and not. Like, some guys will literally not feel their nipples being sensitive anymore going to a daily administration of the same weekly amount.
Bro, this is, oh my god, this is fucking dead.
How beneficial is HRT for someone who doesn't need it? So you've got normal test levels, whatever, in the middle.
I think it's working. Oh, it's good. Bro, this is fucking dead.
How beneficial is HRT for someone who doesn't need it? So you've got normal test levels, whatever, in the middle.
Okay, let me watch this video.
Whatever, in the middle, and you take HRT. So let's take I'm in the 700s. Let's say I could magically come off HRT and my balls would be normal again. I'm producing testosterone. What kind of muscle difference would somebody see between being like natural in the normal range and HRT in the normal range? Because obviously with HRT, you're going to be always kind of elevated. You get drunk, you don't sleep, whatever. You're feeling weight. Versus in the other case, it's like it's going to have a lot bigger of an effect of peaks and valleys and dips.
So we're talking about like the equivalent total T level, basically.
Like somebody that's natural. So you have that natural person. They're just like, they're natural. They're like, well, geez, Greg, it's 120 milligrams a week. I want to go on HRT. Are they going to put on 10 pounds of muscle? Like, what is the big difference here? So you're on HRT, but to me, HRT, even though it's replacement therapy, it's still better than it's better than the replacement. Like HRT is to me almost like a small cycle. It's like the way I see it.
Yeah, so like I can't imagine you would put on more than like 5 to 10 pounds of muscle, probably. Like I imagine you would gain at least a few. You know, some of it's going to be temporary, of course. Mineral retention and whatnot. Like when you go on testosterone immediately, like even on TRT, most guys are going to blow up like a little bit. You know, you get a bit of that extra fullness just from not being fatty anymore and having that chronic exposure to testosterone and being just the process in the background. Yeah, I think you will have probably 5 to 10 pounds of muscle. I imagine this largely is what chronic, you know, you're getting no dip, eat shitty, sleep bad. Not that you're going to grow well if you do that stuff. You're not going to have your test levels duped the next day if you do that. Versus the guy who's on TRT, everything's just exactly the same regardless of what he does. And then you're free to stop. Be higher. And just have chronic exposure. Obviously, you can't manipulate that. How often are you shooting your weekly dosage? You can literally manipulate your finding protein.
So I convinced them, like, hey, that's like not very, like, that's gonna just go up and down. But obviously, you're gonna have more stable blood levels with eat more often. Is there a sweet spot? Like, cause I feel, I don't really.
What the fuck am I saying?
I would argue that probably if I did every 5 days, a little bit more stable. But I'm like just doing it the once a week. But would I be that much better to do it twice a week, for example, just to be that much more stable?
Yeah, so given your SHBG, personally, I would not be doing infrequent administrations at all. Like, the less frequent you do it, the more opportunity you're giving your body to, like you're introducing such an aggressive amount of androgens freely circulating into your body to be able to regulate the mechanism. So for you, and in addition to that, the higher the dose of androgens in one shot, your SHBG is going to go. So in general, if you wanted that to climb back up, you would want to go to, like, literally a daily administration schedule. And that sounds, it sounds super tedious, but it's like the more frequent, the smaller you can do it, the higher your SHBG.
I couldn't shoot. It's not letting me shoot my gun. It's not this game's retarded. It's not letting me shoot my gun. My shotgun was out on his head, literally waiting for him to edit. Doesn't shoot, obviously. I didn't die because of that. I died because he one-pumped me like about 5 to 10 seconds later. I was I aim for 120 and then I got he just maxes me. Even though he's a fucking drone, but I don't know why he doesn't let me shoot. I had my gun out, bro. Like, I was 100% shot, so I don't get why I didn't let me shoot. I don't know if I tried to like switch to my AR before I actually pressed shoot, or it registered that I pressed shoot. I don't know if that's the reason why, but I don't know. But yeah, I'm gonna play this and I want to listen to these. I do want to concentrate though, because I've died to this guy like twice now, and he's really fucking bad. So I'm not gonna allow this to happen again. So I'm like 10 times better than him, even though I'm actually pretty good right now. So if he was actually good, like that's different. But like I can see it, he's wrong. So it's pissing me off when I die to him. Because I'm better than him in the game. I'm died. Like it's always annoying when you die to someone that you know you're better than at like Fortnite, for example, right? Like then if someone shits all over you, right? Like that's obviously yes, like it's annoying, but like it's not. I think it's actually less annoying because like if someone just absolutely fucking like dogs on you, like outplays you, just have god mechanics and just a god player, right? I think that's honestly less frustrating than dying to a person that you know you're better than at Fortnite. Like this guy, I'm like 10 times better than, but he just hit me from max. He's 1 HP. It's absolutely ridiculous. He just hit me for 183, by the way. This guy can't build Reddit, he just hit me for 183. Look how bad he is. I can't shoot. I can't move my He should be dead, bro. This is I'm lagging. That's ridiculous. He should have died way sooner. I don't know how he hit so many heals. Obviously, I would have hit him for more damage if if I had a mouse pad right now. Most likely. If I had a mouse pad, I most likely would have hit him for more damage, obviously. Because my aim would be better just because I'm... Like, yeah, mouse pad... When you're playing with keyboard and mouse, a mouse pad is like very basic and essential. Like, it's like playing without... I don't know, bro. Like I'm trying to like not play without thumbsticks, but like a mouse pad is like very basic essential. It's literally like £10 or something. Like very cheap, and like every keyboard and mouse player pretty much, like 99+% of people that use a keyboard and mouse play with a mouse pad, obviously for a reason, so that your aim is not negatively affected with the desk not tracking your shit properly, your mouse movement properly. So yeah, obviously my aim would be better. I would be hitting him harder if I was using a mouse pad, which I honestly could do. Just I need to sort out my desk and stuff like that. So I'm gonna do it next time I stream, right?
The harder you're gonna drive it down. So that's kind of like for individuals who have high SHBG.
So I need to sort out my desk and then put the mouse pad on my desk. Because there's not enough space. Because like not only there's not enough space for me to move my mouse to the left and right, up and down as much as I want, because of all the shit on my desk. I'm also not playing without a mouse pad. And I'm using a wired mouse instead of wireless, even though I have a wireless mouse, because I don't know where the USB is for the wireless mouse. So I might just have to buy a new one. But what's his name again? What's that guy's name? He does like mouse reviews, like, and he has like the weight in order. I don't know what his name is. Cause I might buy like that mouse, like obviously not now because I don't have the money, but like I might buy that in like a month or two, maybe 2 months realistically. Okay, a bit less than 2 months, but a month and like a week or two, I guess. Not when I get paid in December, but January. Because I don't know what his name is though. I'm trying to think of it, but I can't because this retard just doing a stupid emote. I can't hear. I don't know what the name of the mouse is, bro. I'm trying to think, because I don't want to play with a wired mouse, right? This is like fucked. Like, because the cable management is awful, right? I'll touch that. So I can improve the cable management, but I can't reset. I'm not used to these settings, that's all. Bro, can you move, please? Can you? I would be so upset if I died to him because I'm 100% better than that kid. I don't know what he was just sitting there with his shotgun out, bro. I don't want to get fucking one pumped, and like obviously I'm a drone on keyboard mouse right now. But even though I'm a complete drone because I literally just switched and like everything's fucked, right? My muscle memory is fucked. My bindings are fucked. I'm not playing with a fucking mouse pad. And why is my teammate salted? What is he doing? That kid shouldn't edit on me because I didn't even realize he was there. I was literally focused on the other kid. Okay, anyway, I was focused on the other kid because obviously I don't expect them to be eating. Yeah, okay, anyway, let me just. This is going to be rough, but probably like, well, at least a week, but like probably obviously relatively like close to a month. Let me just close my door. Just sitting there with out to do the same thing, buddy. So yeah, what's his name? Rocket Jump Ninja, that's it. Rocket Jump Ninja, that's it. Yeah, Rocket Jump Ninja. Yeah, I can get like a. A mouse pad. I can't shoot my gun because it's not reloaded, it's so... I swear, like, my teammate is down syndrome sometimes. He shouldn't have got more kills, he shouldn't have got 2 kills than me, 0. I did more damage than he got both kills. Anyway. Bro, what am I playing? I can't. I don't know why I'm dropping FPS. I shouldn't be dropping FPS right now. I can't edit. I got my shot taken first try and my teammate's fucking retarded. What is he doing? My teammates are fucking down here. What is he doing? I need to clear my mouse pad, bro. Like, this is... really fucked. Why is this not... Oh, it's... Look at this one. This teammate, what are you doing? I don't understand what you're saying. There's 2 of us. There's one of them. I've literally put him to 1 shot. I don't know why he's like playing like this. I don't get it. What is he doing? Like he's like, bro, like you're 200 HP. He's 1 shot. There's 2 of us, and you're scared. I don't get it. What is it, 5-1? But I want to watch these videos and then I'm gonna go off. If I like, I'm curious, can I like watch? Oh my fucking god, buddy. Oh, that's filthy. That's filthy. I'm not even like maxed out, like literally like, that was filthy. Like the potential is high on this, I'm not gonna lie, like Loki. I'm not even like... I just did that shit for that. He's 1 HP. I can't shoot that. What? What? He should be dead. He should be dead, but I just hit him for 100 plus. How the fuck is he not dead? That's bullshit, bro. I'm sorry, that's fucking BS. How much damage did I do to that? Bro, how much damage did I just do to this kid? That's ridiculous. I don't know why I'm dropping FPS like crazy. Bro, my teammates fucking... Oh, I don't... What's the score? Oh, we're winning, okay. I think I used 3 seconds. I don't really 3 seconds. One shot. Get the floor. He's 1 shot, bro. He's right here. I can't fucking shoot my gun, bro, because I'm a fucking fast. Oh my god, this. Don't worry, where's... There you go. Come on, buddy. Hardy, you lost 10-6. No, you're fucking. You really might not. I think I just clipped by accident, but I'm gonna do like one more maybe. I want to get to, on this account I want to get obviously back to Panville, which I'm super far away from because the other account I was actually in Panville. I don't know, I just want to because you get max rank on this. It's, yeah, so. But.
Limited by that in that they can't get their total T is fine, but their free T is like disproportionately low, and they'll still have low T symptoms and have like erectile dysfunction, even though their total T is like 800. Those guys end up having to pin a bigger dose less frequently to drive it down, or in some extreme cases even use things like proviron, danazol, or oxandrolone. For individuals with low SHBG, obviously you can look at certain things like lifestyle and diet, whatever, because there's certain things that can manipulate SHBG through that too. But the actual dosage frequency, there's definitely a concern for like hyper-excretion of your testosterone, sort of that you have no bound mechanisms that can regulate when it gets around. It's just like you introduce it and boom, it's like flying around, and then it all flies out of your system like simultaneously, sort of. It's not exactly like that, but you have a lot less of a regulating mechanism. Like your body literally doesn't have the binding protein to get it where it needs to go and regulate when it gets there. It's just like flying around and going all over the place. So that, some individuals, like they feel much better when they do frequent administrations when they have low SHBG because it's more of a stable level. So, you know, like you don't, like for individuals who want to do that, I don't know, I'm assuming you still use like a 1 or a 1.5 inch, like 25 gauge or something, like
27 gauge, 1 1/4 inch. Yeah, and
so
it's a once weekly injection of 0.6 mLs from a 200 milligram per mil dalatestrol. So it would be, I mean, based on, like, I just straight up, I feel freaking amazing, fantastic, like, I feel awesome, but potentially there could be some internal benefits that I'm not aware of that if I did it, say, I mean, I'm not going to do it every day, but if I did it twice a week, it's going to be a little bit better, and so perhaps my SHBG go up a little bit, and overall the inside, like, just be overall healthier as there's less tests being introduced right away that my body has to deal with versus having it introduced twice in a week. It's a little bit easier to react to, kind of like eating 1 big meal a day versus 2. There's a lot less food in your belly at one meal, 3,000 calories versus 1,500 twice. It's just easier to handle. So perhaps it would be smart for me just for that.
But like for me, and a lot of people who do TRT more frequently, if you put the oil into an insulin syringe, it is so painless and non-invasive to use like a half-inch insulin and a shallow intramuscular shot. You might even.
Would it have to be intramuscular? And just lower, like, because I mean.
It depends, like if you're
I've done trend shots with an insulin syringe, so like
you're so lean that even if some guys when they go straight in with an insulin bit to their glute, it is sub-Q. For you, you're so lean, your stomach fat is sub-Q. So like, you could, but you might end up with little deposits that are kind of.
Like shots with 0.3.
Oh, that's damage, man.
But I would act like just jab the 29 gauge in and suck down for however many minutes, 5 minutes, and then do the shots like that just to try it. And sometimes we get like a bit of irritation.
Yeah. So that's not, again, that's an underground lab trend with solvents that are irritating too. So like obviously pharmagrade dalatestrol with only like point whatever milliliters per every other day or something is far less problematic. But it's kind of up to you if you decide to get the stuff that you want. It's just a matter of does it cause irritation or cause lumping. If it doesn't, by all means, you can definitely do that. Some guys do that.
So what would be the big difference here? Muscular is just going to be absorbed perhaps a little bit quicker if it's sub-Q.
Yeah.
We want the slower because then it would be that slow release. The slower the better on something that would maybe be done every other day instead of every day intramuscular versus sub-Q.
Yeah, look, you're already using an anti-estrogen though, so it's like I'm not really concerned about those things leaving the estrogen. But yeah, like I see what you're saying. In general, though, the more you can spread it out, just administration-wise, eventually it's going to absorb. Eventually, you're going to hit steady state where you are. Everything's absorbing at a certain rate around your stomach fat, where you're going to be getting. And I would imagine a overall, once it's explain it in a way that's.
I can't just hold it, bro.
I get what you're saying.
Yeah. So like my only thing is like this insulin's basically get more. To be honest, I prefer doing like every other day. And I can get steady levels.
This Christmas, children like Jordan and James will be going hungry.
Fuck off.
steady state after 5 months. There's no difference. It's like, this is for people adhering to the medication and they start using it once a week or something. You can achieve like acceptable levels. It's not necessarily optimal though. Like if you want actually like very steady levels, if you're doing once a week with 125, you're like,
Right.
Is literally like this.
Yeah, so when I was in the 700s, I did that test like, I don't know, it was like 3 days after the shot, 6 days after, maybe I'm in 600, who knows where I'm at, you know,
Yeah,
testing it at pretty much the peak level.
Yeah, but it's even just above and beyond just what is, you know, your level at the trough, as acceptable as for, it's also about like this disproportionate massive spike, it's probably not the best.
My teammate is so retarded, I swear. Oh, my teammate is so fucking retarded, bro. What is he doing?
Like, I was just upwards of like 2,000 grams total of everything I was doing, 4 different so to me, it's like 120 once a week, it's like, in comparison to...
It's so unfair, bro. The teammates like, yeah, I literally get teammates with fucking Down syndrome, I swear to God. Oh, why is he camping? This game's so retarded. It doesn't let me edit because the guy's on the wall. I'm trying to not get upset, but it's not fair, bro. I can't edit because the guy I knocked is on the wall. So it doesn't give me permission to edit my own wall, bro. My teammate's fucking retarded. What is he doing? Bro, you're mentally handicapped, bro. What are you doing? Bro, like, what is these teammates? I swear to God. I get like the most retarded teammates imaginable. And my game just lags so hard. Like, honestly, I swear to God, I get the most handicapped teammates ever, boys. That's the thing that's so unenjoyable about this. Like, everything his. Everything's his because my fucking teammate's retarded. FPS fucking. Everything is his because my teammate's fucking fasting. Everything is literally. I can't edit in my life. my god, what is he doing? Why is he camping there? Well, at least my retarded teammate left, even though he was doing nothing, right? Like, I don't have to. So all he does is give them like free loot, to be honest. That's not fair. That's not. I tried to thirst him. He doesn't let me thirst him because there's a fucking thingy. There's a, okay, no, I'm gonna try to keep the volume down because of time, but like it's not fair. It's really not fair. What is he doing? Running into. Yeah, after this, so can I wonder if the stream will let me go like display capture, because I want to watch like those two videos go on display capture. But obviously when I'm playing, like, I can't edit. Wait, what, he rage quit? I think it's just me versus this. Yeah. I think he rage quit as well. Okay. I'm almost the next rank, but I'm just gonna leave it now. I'm gonna go off. I'm gonna watch those two videos on the thing. I don't know if it will let me, like, exactly. It's 11 minutes in. Let me see my stream quick. Everything seems to be working good. I think he rage quit as well. Okay. I'm almost the next rank, but I'm just gonna leave it now. I'm gonna go off. I'm gonna watch those two videos on this thing. I don't know if it will let me, like, exactly. It's 11 minutes in. Let me see my stream quick. Everything seems to be working good. Okay, I've muted the volume so it's not gonna create echo. I'm gonna go to history, and then I want to watch like 2 more videos after this. Oh, this is really fucked up today, I'm not gonna lie. I'll open this new tab, and then I'll open this. I watched it on my... Okay, so no, you have to change it. So I need to fit the screen basically, because it's right now it's fucked. So let me... Yeah, you can see it's fucked. So let me put this back a second. Put this on here, off. 1080p. I need to fit this to screen, so I will preview for a second, and then the transform and fit the screen. That's what you do. And now I can disable preview. Preview is currently disabled, and this as well. And then if I minimize the tab now it should be good. Now let me click my clips as well, because I think there's a new clip by accident. 11:25. That's today, right? Can't see. Yeah, it is. 11:20, 11:21, 11:21. Okay, so this is the replay. You watch this quick. Where's... Need full screen actually. Where's... There you go. And it looks like one body. If you're receiving okay, yeah, so 9 is my clips one. Let me delete this. Delete. Okay, recycle bin. Empty. Okay. So now it should be good though. Like, it looks like, yeah, because this is This is me watching my own clip. So now I'll wait for it to stream to catch up, but there's a little bit delay, but it's a 4K 60 FPS, so that's good. Okay, so now it should be good though, like it looks like. Okay, yeah, everything's good. Okay, so everything is good. Okay, so let me disconnect my phone from Wi-Fi. Watch this.
Of everything I was doing, like 4 different products. So to me, it's like 120 once a week. It's like, in comparison to injecting 3 cc's every day of something and trying to find a body part to put it in, it's like such a nothing dose for me to feel like I'm doing right now, but because I've been so abusive in the past.
Yeah, and don't get me wrong, I'm not saying to everyone you need to do everyday injections or you need to do every other day if you're doing once or twice a week of your TRT. It's not like that. I'm just saying, like, in the context of, you know, if we're talking about optimization or experimenting with a way to dial in a protocol perhaps more, maybe it's going to be a negligible or non-existent difference for you. I'm just saying, like, in my head, if I was thinking, you know, like I'm in a similar boat with, you know, basically the exact same dose and I pretty much do the same thing as you, the actual exposure, like, I don't want to be spiking up my T. Like, even if I feel good, like, it feels good being on steroids, you know? Like, my brain likes free testosterone. Like, I know that. Does my actual, like, neurological health and heart and organs, though, like that much free androgen exposure in, like, one bolus? Maybe not. And maybe, like, I can't perceive that because I can't visually see what's going on necessarily. So, like, for me, I'm just more comfortable with lowest dose possible, like multiple days a week. So the more you can spread it out, the better. And a way to make that a more tolerable, less invasive, annoying experience is these insulin syringes. Like 1 1/4 or 1.5 inch pin fucking sucks. I hate doing those. Whereas a 1/2 inch is like literally you don't even feel it into my ventral glute, boom, done in half a second. It's just like, to me, the more frequent allowing me to get away with those tiny little needles is actually like superior in a, like, even looking, like, I don't like shooting shit. So like using a smaller needle allowing me to get away with that is worth it in itself, as well as the benefit I get potentially medically from stable levels, not dealing with disproportionately low SHBG or dealing with the potential ramifications of a low SHBG and that chronic elevation in androgens. That's like, there's like a few different things that maybe it does nothing, but at best it potentially does a lot of good things.
Yeah, I see. It's marginal gains to go from every 2 weeks, like the endocrinologist wanted, to every week. There's huge gains from doing that. And then maybe twice a week, a little bit more, and then every day. Is it really much better than every 2 days? Debatable. Same as eating frequency. Certainly eating 3 times a week is better than once a day. Or sorry, 3 times a day is better than once a day. But is 8 times a day better than 5? No. After a while, it becomes, is there a better point? You know, marginal gains.
One thing I can say too, though, is, again, it's individual specific. Like I said, like maybe you'll not have any noticeable difference whatsoever. Some individuals, it's the difference between them needing an AI and not. Like some guys will literally not feel their nipples being sensitive anymore, going to a daily administration of the same weekly amount. So like them on 125 a week, doing once or twice a week, they have like borderline gyno, feels like their gyno is developing, versus they go to daily of that split up. And all of a sudden, they're not having extra aromatization from that big spike in androgens.
Right.
They are having little amounts of aromatization on a daily basis, and all of a sudden, they don't need Arimidex anymore, which saves their fucking brain, their heart, and a bunch of other stuff. So that kind of thing, it sounds dumb to some people. It's like, well, like, why would you do that? For some people, it's actually like very, very healthy, above and beyond just the thought process of, you know, like using a tiny needle.
Yeah, I see it the same analogy of eating, like some people just fast 16 hours and eat in that window and they're fine. Versus for me, if I have to eat that much food within like 8, I hate it. So it's the same analogy. Like some people can handle that. Like I'll eat 1 meal a day as much as I want. Other people, they need to spread it out.
Yeah.
Oh, and you mentioned like you like the feeling of being on testosterone, like the feeling you get, the high you get from it. Like, is there an exact cycle that you can remember that was like the prime, the optimal, like the best you made you feel? Maybe not the best you looked, but feeling wise, like, because so many people are like, they think that as soon as you're on steroids, you're obviously, you feel like Superman and stuff, but some of the drugs like Tren, it makes you feel like shit, so it's not really worth it. Is there a cycle dosage product that you felt was like, this is the banger, this is how I feel my best, I wish I could live my life like this?
Like, one thing I can say that's interesting is, one thing I wanted to add at the end of the video, just because it's relevant to the topic at hand, is where to get high quality care and oversight. So I talk about how critical it is to find a doctor who knows what they're talking about, how to interpret your blood work and diagnostics, and make appropriate recommendations.
Yo, a lot of you guys watching my videos aren't subscribed. If you could subscribe, I'd really appreciate it. And remember, use code CARDIX in the item shop.
I want to watch these and then go off. The double edit binds on this is so nice, bro. I'm not even like fully used to them, like obviously, and I'm not on like a god PC and I'm streaming and just like my muscle memory just but it's still fucking nice, bro. I haven't used a mouse pad. It would be sick if I made enough money where like I could literally afford to get a leased line. Like imagine playing on a god PC with a fucking leased line. And like keyboard and mouse, the god keyboard, god mouse, like great desk with like shit ton of space, god monitor. And like a leased line with like 10 gigabytes per second up and down over something like that, over 100, right? Just like the leased line, which is like the lowest latency type connection you can literally get. Like Jesus Christ, bro, that'd be so fucking nice. That'd be so nice to learn that, but that's like the literally perfect setup. Basically, like not perfect, I guess, because you can play LAN, but like extremely good. Unbelievable. Like, the lease line is expensive, man. That's like that's hundreds of pounds a month at minimum just for your internet, because it's your own, like they're setting you up with your own private line, right? Like, so your latency is like super fucking low. It's like as low as it can basically be from where you live from the service. Oh yeah, I was in London, I guess, as well. Like, yeah, the best I could feasibly do, technically speaking. Well, I guess I could move countries. Actually, no, but there's no point, because yeah, like that would be like that would be the dream setup, bro. Like just not like even like to make money or anything. Just like it's just so overpowered. Just like living in London with like a fucking leased line and like a fucking god PC, like a god setup, pretty much, right? Like you have the leased line, and then you have the god setup, and I guess in London as well. Just incredible. Like Jesus Christ, just absolutely incredible. Honestly, it wouldn't actually be that expensive, because living in the rent, at least in London, you get a studio like 800 easily, like 650, right? So 800, 100% you could do. That's not in bang on central, but like it's in London, so that counts. Lease line obviously is maybe a bit more problematic. I guess it depends on your income. At least line is like at least a couple £100 a month just for internet, which is obviously, so you need to earn like decent money. Like obviously if you're earning like, if you earn like 50 grand a year, for example, like post tax, which is obviously good money, but like you're not rich. Like earning 50k a year post tax is not rich, I would say, by any means, but you could afford to get a lease line if you wanted to. Yeah, it's not the best use of money, but you could I could realistically afford to, like because of the other expenses aren't like extremely high. So yeah, if you live by yourself, right, and stuff like that, and right, so and then the PC, right, obviously the PC maybe like a couple grand, but will last like a year or two, at least a year or two. So basically, so like yeah, I mean realistically, yeah, obviously it could even be more expensive than that, though. It could be like up to £1,000 a month, which is insane. If you earn like 50 grand a year, that's basically 4 grand just over $4 a month. So that would be like a quarter of your wage just in your internet, which is crazy. Like that is some very expensive internet. So I guess obviously, yeah, maybe you'd want to make more than that, because even though you probably could spare that, because even if it was $1,000 a month, you still have like $3 a month to work with, which is, I feel like, quite a lot, to be honest. Like, it depends, I guess, what else you're spending, right? But if that's like, right, yeah, I guess it depends what else you're also spending as well, right? But yeah, like a lease line is crazy. Like, yeah, like if I was rich, I'd 100% get a lease line, because like if you're playing a video game, like especially Fortnite, right, it's just overpowered, bro. Like it's just so, it's like you're just abusing. Like, it's honestly fun though, bro. Like it's a fun abusing like that power, pretty much, right? Like you literally just using and abusing that power. Like you literally, bro, like you just take walls like you're fucking god, bro. Like you just look at the wall, it's fucking gone, bro. You don't even have to fucking hit the wall, bro. You look at the wall, it's gone. It's my wall now. Like, bro, that's literally, it's so fun, bro. It is, honestly, it feels so much better taking someone else's wall than someone taking your wall, right? It feels about 1,000 times better. If it feels, yeah, it's annoying as fuck when someone takes your wall first try. Like it's just overpowered, man. Like that's what, it's just so, it's so fun, right? It's honestly, it is fun. Obviously, it's only fun when you're playing the game. If you're not playing the game, obviously, then, and also if you like suck, right, then obviously the better you are at the game, and like obviously if you're playing a lot, right, or like not playing a lot, but just playing every day, a couple of hours a day, right, and you're like fucking good, right, or really good, it's just fun, bro. It's fun because it's just broken. Like you just take the wall, like, bro, like you take the wall like it doesn't even exist, bro. Like you're just like you're fucking god. Like you just look at the walls, just mine now is gone, right? Like lease line is just like a lease line in London. So one of the sub servers for Fortnite is in London. Obviously the other ones, you can't live in like multiple places at the same time, right? You know, like the same, you know, but like one of the sub servers for the Europe, right, is in London, obviously. So living in London itself is obviously ideal. I guess that I live close to London, though, to be fair, but I guess I could live in London itself, even if it's not central, right? I could technically live in London because I don't live in it, and also like a lease line. But that's my internet connections. That's like latency to the server, right? Obviously, lease line would be better than what I have now. That's the best. That's basically the best you could possibly do. A lease line is literally the best you could possibly do. It's like insane, and then living in London is also, well, living in London is common, to be honest. Like a lot of people live in London, obviously, and then at least line obviously is not. Yeah, it's a bit different, but and then playing on God, just a God PC, God monitor, God keyboard, God mouse, like good mouse pad, good desk. Obviously most of those things aren't too expensive. Like the keyboard and mouse, the best keyboard and mouse themselves maybe cost a couple £100 each at most. The monitor can actually cost I think up to 800. Like that's what 800. Like I think the best monitor right now actually costs 800, which is crazy. And a PC, yeah, can run you like multiple grand, but less than 10, obviously. But like I don't know, everything get combined, like maybe like you could actually spend like upward, like if you're really pushing it, like upwards of like 5 or 6k or something, which is obviously like a lot for, like, but that's like, this is like unbelievably high, and like basically you have to really push it, like, and try and find, like, go out of your way to try and make it like as high end as humanly possible, right, in every single way, basically. Yeah, so but that's a dream set, bro. That's insane. Like, Jesus Christ, bro, that's absolutely fucking ridiculous. Like, Jesus Christ, bro, imagine having internet at a fucking 100 up and down, bro. Look at this shit. What was it again? What did BT offer? Like, obviously BT is just like one example, but like, look at this bullshit. Oh, so not to 100. Sorry, I'm not 100. Okay, not 100. I'm exaggerating with 100. Sorry, 10. I meant 10. Sorry. Yeah, look, BT UK Business Internet, a dedicated BT Net lease line, whatever. Discover the UK's #1 dedicated lease line for business grade internet. Obviously, this is bullshit, right? Like other ISPs do lease lines as well. You don't share your line with anyone else, so fast and reliable speeds are guaranteed. and then it's bullshit. And then it says BTnet up to 1 gigabytes per second, which that's not that good because like, or it is good obviously, but like I have my download and upload speed. Obviously they don't pay. Obviously mine's not a leased line, right? That's why. But like I get 1 gig up and down, or basically 1 gig up and down. Right? It's supposed to be 1 gig up and down, but it's, I mean it's slightly less, right? Realistically, it's like 950 or something. I think in reality, or in speedtest.net at least, it's like 939 right now, and then the upload is going to be slightly worse because I'm streaming. So right now it's just under 900 upload because I'm streaming in like 4K, so it's 896. But before usually it's like 925, 950, basically it's around that range. So it's just under 1,000. It's not exactly fully 1,000, but obviously I'm not super close to the thing as well, so it could increase a little bit if I was closer. But they are up to 10 gigabytes. We're not 100 gigabytes. wait, let me see. Least line speeds. Well, I think at least 10, right? Which 10 gigabytes up and down is crazy. Okay, typically 1 megabytes per second, which is awful, obviously, to 10. Okay, so 10. So 10 is usually so yes, 10 I think. Not 100. So 100 gigabytes per second. No, sorry, not 100. That was off. But still, that's crazy. 10 gigabytes per second up and down is insane. That, like, the internet that I have already right now, that I got obviously only recently, within less than a couple months ago, like within maybe a month or two ago or something. I'm not that long ago. Right, I already like. Obviously, there is an issue with the ping, right? Like, they need to fix it because there's an actual issue with my internet at times, like, and stuff like that. But the download and upload speed, at least, right, are fucking good, and that's like 1,000 up and down. I'm really happy with that. So, like, bro, 10 gigabytes up and down is insane. That's 10 times the download and upload speed that I currently get, and the current download and upload speed I think I get right now, I already consider like insane, like really good. Like, I'm fucking happy with it. So, like, bro, like 10 gigabytes up and down. Holy shit. That's insane. That's fucking crazy. Like, Jesus Christ. 10 gigabytes up and down. Fucking hell. Like, you can actually buy that. That's like, you could get that in your fucking house. It's crazy, bro. Like, you can, if you have the money, you could genuinely pay for a lease line every month. Maybe up to 1,000. I think it could be expensive, £1,000 a month. But obviously, like, that's not the starting price. But yeah, and like, you can literally have 10 gigabytes upload and download around the clock, 24/7, your own line with like the lowest latency humanly possible. You know, given your distance from wherever you're connecting to, whatever server you're connecting to, wherever. Right, that's, or at least right now in 2024. Alright, we're almost 2025, right? It's crazy though. It's fucking insane. Jesus, man. That'd be nice, bro. Just like looking at a download speed test, right, and being like damn, bro, that's my fucking internet. Like, my internet's fucking sick. Or like I like to see those numbers, you know. You gotta get those numbers up, bro. That's what I like to see. That's what I like to see. That's fucking good. I need my bank account to have that many zeros. More zeros, yeah. More colors and zeros. That was really fucking nice. Besides the latency issue that they need to fix, that they keep saying isn't there when it is there, this internet is way better than this guy. Like, everything downloads way faster. So I can fucking watch it in 4K. Bro, I'm watching a video in 4K 60 FPS while streaming in 4K 60 FPS. I'm live streaming in 4K on 60 FPS on my PC, and I'm also watching a video at the same time and 4K and 60 FPS, like, and everything's, my internet is chilling. Like, my internet isn't even like it's not even like 1% stressed. It's like a cakewalk. Like, I could connect my phone to fucking Wi-Fi, fucking start watching a different video in the background, and I can mute the volume right and put it on fucking 4K 60 FPS right in the background, and my internet is like, my internet didn't even fucking feel it. Like, that's like it's like yeah, it's like nothing, right? And for my internet, right? Whereas if I tried to do this shit on Sky, bro, like, it's gonna have a seizure and not be able to do it at all, right? Whereas this internet, like, can handle it, like, it doesn't even register that. It doesn't even register that it's doing it, right? Like, that's how minimal the impact is. It basically, it's like, it doesn't even fucking compute, right? Like, for the internet, right? It's just like, it's nothing. It's so easy for it. It doesn't even fucking, it doesn't even like count. So this is bad, I'm not gonna lie. This is really bad. I might stay awake all night, like, because this is, I fucked this up, to be honest.
Yeah. 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 I would dust it. My jeans, my shoes, that's way. I'm keen, I'm cool, you lame. Make 10,000 today. That is minimum wage. My jeans, my shoes, that's way. I'm keen, I'm cool, you lame. Make 10,000 today. That is minimum wage. Got a flight to Mumbai for the weekend. All you niggas fell off, you ain't in season. Describe her top, well, it was decent. Might just spaz in a Benz, boy, I'm tweaking. Holy shit, I'm tweaking. Holy shit, I'm tweaking. Do my dance, nigga, for no reason. Spend some bands just for the weekend. Never out here sleeping, do my while you eating. Now I'm in main stage, fucking on the bad hoe. That's enrichment for all you niggas that don't know. Several women keep lining up at my shows. While they tripping, they don't even got iPhones. It smell like rich in here, it smells like bitch in there. It smells like motherfucking sex, drugs, and hits in here. They riding dick and blowing kisses cause we lit in here. Probably by the fucking leader, it's a tech in here. Holla, let me check my Motorola. Also fucking cocoa while I'm sipping Coca-Cola. Barely got the flow, man, I just provide a logo. Things inside my soda can induce symptoms of coma. She a stupid slut, I fuck her hard up on the sofa. Had her rubber up, I'm not trying to be pushing strollers. Then I take a flight all the way to Nose. Diamonds on my face, diamonds on my hoes. Me and my homies pop a pussy like a gushing, yo. Pop some scripts and sing the bitches like I'm Usher, yo. My mullet stack up and your boyfriend is a sucker, yo. Don't get it twisted, I'm from Indiana, Pakistan. My jeans, my shoes, that's way. I'm keen, I'm cool, you lame. Make 10,000 today. That is minimum wage. My jeans, my shoes, that's way. I'm keen, I'm cool, you lame. Make 10,000 today. That is minimum wage. That's way. That's way. That's way.
I try to show love, but they didn't let me. I try to show love, but they didn't let me. I might just super sold out, hold all these diamond chains. I told her come hop in this coupe and smoke on this dopey, let's go to the moon. I dropped a 20 on road day, oh, now the hoes coming in by toes. Fuck on that hoe, now she act like she need me. Hit on my phone, she wanted some weenie. Bitch, I'm blurry up, peach codini. Take a soda, disappear like Houdini. Count up a motherfucker, check. Fucking that bitch from the back like yes. Fuck strong ass weed, I'm flying like a jet. Better last night when I'm fucking her next. I keep a stick in this big body coupe. If I pull up on you, better duck, bitch. I do this shit that I don't even try. Had to tell her I don't need no luck, bitch. I'm flexing on niggas and watching them cry. They'll probably try to run up. Shawty just came in with her and her friend. She got in the booty on her like a dump truck. They tryna flex, but they not us. I took your lady to Prada. Stuck in my ways and this money come in fast. Slide in hip block, I'ma blow like confetti. She said she wanna have have my baby, but she not ready. Slide with me back to my telly. Let's have a party. She gave me 6 kids, no melody. I'm on a mission, I'm counting this fatty. I try to show love, but they didn't let me. I might just suicide. I hold all these diamond chains. I told her come hop in this groupie and smoking this dopey. Let's go to the moon. I dropped a 20 on road day. Oh, now the hoes coming in by toes. Fuck on that hoe, now she act like she need me. Hit on my phone, now she wanted some weenie. Bitch and blurry up, peach codini. Take a soda, disappear like Houdini. Count up a motherfucking check. Fucking that bitch from the back like yes. Fuck strong ass weed, I'm flying like a jet. Met her last night, but I'm fucking her next. I keep a stick in this big body coupe. If I pull up on you, better duck, bitch. I do this shit that I don't even try. Had to tell her I don't need no luck, bitch. I'm flexing on niggas and watching them cry. They'll probably try to run up. Shawty just came in with her and her brand. She got in the booty on her like a dump truck. They tryna flex, but they not us. I took your lady to Prada. Stuck in my ways and this money coming in fast. Loud in hip block, I'ma blow like confetti. She said she wanna have my baby, but she not ready. Slide with me back to my telly. Let's have a party. She gave me 6 kids, no melody. I'm on a mission, I'm counting this fatty. I try to show love, but they didn't let me. I might just suicide. I hold all these diamond chains. I told her come hop in this groupie and smoking this dopey. Let's go to the moon. I dropped a 20 on road day. Oh, now the hoes coming in by
Hey, way out in Hollywood. I know that Hollywood. Papa Billy, just a Philly, yeah, she probably would. She catching feelings for me since I got my comments up. Face down, ass up, how I fall in love. Chain out, cash up when she call me up. I would let it call me daddy, but she got enough. Way out in Hollywood, I know that Hollywood. Papa Billy, just a Philly, yeah, she probably would. Hey, pull up to the scene, huh? I bet she do it for the team. Papa Bean, huh? I love in her mouth, Listerine, Mr. Clean, huh? Big loud, blow down, gasoline, huh? And she from the west side, must confess, I been peeping how you walking, you the best side. For that talking, I'ma let you do the rest, I. When I'm working, shorty better be undressed, way out in Hollywood, I know that Hollywood. Papa Billy, just a Philly, yeah, she probably would. She catching feelings for me since I got my comments up. Face down, ass up, how I fall in love. Chain out, cash up when she call me up. I would let it call me daddy, but she got enough. Way out in Hollywood, I know that Hollywood. Papa Billy, just a Philly, yeah, she probably would. She wants some Louis on and got me whipping down Rodeo. Gucci, Fendi, Prada in the bag, I gotta pay her. Shorty, she a Barbie, okay, where she stay. Life for the party, don't care what she say. You talk too much, I'm only talking to the bank. She eyeing my deposits, throwing hundreds in the safe. She don't want no love, she want diamonds on the face. Only let it tick-tock, then she run away. Way out in Hollywood, I know that Hollywood. Papa Billy, just a Philly, yeah, she probably would. She catching feelings for me since I got my comments up. Face down, ass up, how I fall in love. Chain out, cash up when she call me up. I would let it call me daddy, but she got enough. Way out in Hollywood, I know that Hollywood. Papa Billy, just a Billy, yeah, she probably would.
click that you came with. I ain't for the bullshit. I just be my baby. Fuck you, bitch. Leave your ass on the pavement. This is better than me and my niggas. Hey, fuck you, bitch. In the click that you came with. I ain't for the bullshit. I just be my baby. Fuck you, bitch. Leave your ass on the pavement. This is better than me and my niggas. Hey, break shit. Cruise down the street with my niggas. We go
Wait, hold on, Vanish. 130 on Vanish.
No, you can't hang, boy, you play, you vanilla. Fuck the walls in the crack, it's back, it's over the I kill him, don't need no hitter. My niggas rich and make it hop a sinner. Can't reject me, I'm no rookie or beginner. Talking to me crazy, you gon' make me turn a villain. Hey, fuck you, in the clique that you came with. I ain't for the bullshit, I just be my payment. Fuck you, leave your ass on the pavement. It's the type of night me and my niggas try to break. Hey, fuck you, in the clique that you came with. I ain't for the bullshit, I just be my payment. Fuck you, leave your ass on the pavement. It's the type of night me and my niggas try to break shit. Fuck it. I ain't for the bullshit, I just be my payment. Fuck it. It's the type of night me and my niggas try to break shit. Hey, in the clique that you came with. I ain't for the bullshit. Diamond at me and my niggas trying to break shit.
Wait, Popsicle need you. Okay.
I've been starting all these the dash. Shorty know I only care about the cash. Big guns, big sticks, big rash. Yes, me, I ain't got it, but I got it like that. I get it, what I wanna. Smoking marijuana, keep it hotter than the sauna. Smoking till the sun up. They asked me if I have bands, I said bring your funds up. They tested me to a challenge that didn't show up.
This guy literally SMG'd me like 4
party and I got
times.
skateboard looking like a dumb fuck. Mama told me get a bag and I said run it up. With the naughty and a jag, but I need a bench truck. I need real cheese, big ass peso. Don't go with me, or this fucking bankroll. Got a 4.0 GPA on the road. Beating up and down the freeway, didn't pay a single toll. If you fuck with my money moves, I'll make it rise relevant. I'll make all of these niggas mad. They might screaming, crying, vent. I might stack up 100 racks, buy me an elephant. I might send you another fact. Could you tell me if it's sent? I've been starting out even I need the dash. Shorty know I only care about the cash. Big bands, big sticks, big rash. Yes, me, I ain't got it, said I got it like that.
You know, they got one, you know. If the big up, when you big up. I blanked them. You get up. I got shot. Another team.
Didn't show up, I'm knocking at your door, right? Taking meds till I pass out on the floor, right? If a nigga step up, I say goodnight. Written on the ground in chalk, all that off-white. Put you right up on a shirt. I'll be damned if I never put in work. You a broke ass bitch, your pockets hurt. And I carry an Uzi, no vert, chillin' in the jacuzzi. My way, now me on the dash, revving on the highway. Only care about the cash, what the fuck can I say? I've been waiting for the blow up, I'm in Pompeii. Hey, I've been starting out even into the dash. Shorty know I only care about the cash. Big bands, big sticks, big rash. Yes, me know I got it, and I got it like that. I get it, what I want is smoking marijuana. Keep it hotter than a sauna, smoking till the sun up. They asked me if I have bands, to bring your funds up. They tested me to a challenge, and they didn't show up.
Body.
Oh my god, don't do it!
Chromosome 2351 CT. they let me play this. Alright, I want to watch this.
Play the chug yourself, bro.
Chug, get him.
My baby, she flexing all up on my blessings. I get a flash, nigga, with her gas. We just seen her up and we sent on that hat. And it been so long, so the vibe so dead. She sent a little text, so she let me hit it. In response to the text, nigga, but I read it. She told me she love me, nigga, had to dead. Yeah, run to the pack, little guy. Are you gangsta? I don't know your gangsta. I don't know.
138, nice.
My energy, see you later. Oh my god, like Lil Key. And you giving me stress, baby, I don't need. She said that she let me, she fuck on my
nice,
team.
bro, you're crazy.
You love me and fuck on my team. I'm counting the cash, yeah, I cut the green. I'm counting the cash, yeah, I cut the blue. I got no pressure, nigga, game two. You know that you poppin' if they hate you. I use it as motivation. Oh my god, I know that I'm gonna be great and just spin it back like torn.
Nice, you're crazy.
Nigga, you were outdated. Put me in the Olympics, I run to that side. I feel like the doctor, she give me that back. I said, yo, way past the max. But that's that pack and I might get it back. Always grinding, nigga, I cannot slack. I fucked your bitch hot, that's a fact. I fucked your hoe, nigga, that's a Fendi. I'm just a product, nigga, with a Fendi. I fuck your bitch hot, name Betty.
Kill the kid.
I don't
Trying to live, bro. Go back. Dead man.
I ain't going to the party, baby. We go to the Getty. I ain't trying to touch you, baby. Shawty, you just man. My baby, she flexing all up on my blessings. I get a flash, nigga, walk against. We just seen her up and we sent on that head. And it been so long, so the vibe so dead. She sent a little text, so she let me hit it. In response to the text, nigga, but I read it. She told me she love me, nigga, after that. Yeah, run to the pack, little nigga. Are you gangsta? I don't know your gangsta. I don't know your intentions, so my energy, see you later. Oh my god, like Lil Key. And you giving me stress, baby, I don't need. She said that she let me, she fuck on my team. How you say that you love me and fuck on my team?
So that little bitch start tripping, we gon' get the best. Now on my back, she like living fast. She wanna fuck with me.
How you doing?
That bitch robbed it, that in like pass. I did not learn shit in that motherfucking class. I put that bitch like a bag. I'm tryna get all that. Nice. Shawty, she wanna move. Start tripping, we gon' get the best. Now on my back, she like living fast. She wanna fuck with me.
How you doing?
That bitch robbed it, that in like pass. I did not learn shit in that motherfucking class. I put that bitch like a bag. I'm tryna get all that. Nice. Shawty, she wanna move.
In your opinion, would it be safe or smart for me to increase the dose to bring myself to like the 1,000 nanograms per deciliter? Would that increase potential health risks? You know, assuming as you know, I'm on 120 milligrams a week of tests from 100, which resulted in just over 700 nanograms per deciliter. So that's where I'm at right now. In your opinion, would it be safe or smart for me to increase the dose to bring myself to like the 1,000 nanograms per deciliter? Would that increase potential health risks? You know, assuming like my blood work looks good right now, like based on your experience, like what would you say? Because like obviously my doctor's not going to just like up the dose. That's the dose is for the dose. But if I was to go to an HRT clinic, like, you know, something different, like you have the clinic, like what would you say to someone like that? Like, I'm like, man, I want more muscle. If I could be 195 instead of 192 and be healthy, is that a risk? Like, what do you think?
Yeah, so it's kind of interesting because obviously within actual like reference range values, it looks like if you push it up to 1,000, it's like, well, you're still within a therapeutic zone. So hypothetically, you would think, well, you know, it can't be much more unhealthy. Like I would say that it also is going to depend largely on where your SHBG is at, because a lot of people don't realize
it's on the lower end of normal.
Yeah, so like, is it
within the normal range?
Is it close to single digits, or is it like
it's
right
13 point something, I think.
So your free T is like,
and it's
like,
that's 1.5 times the normal reference range, which I forget what the reference range is, but the test that my body is actually using is like 50% more than what the normal limit is. So although I'm at 700, I'm actually like higher than what a normal person would be.
Yeah, so like for me, when I think about this, I don't think about it just like obviously, first of all, it's going to depend largely on, like, is it something you actually want to do, or is this just a hypothetical scenario?
I gotta say it's got to be hypothetical because I gotta listen to my doctor.
Yeah, right. Okay, so like for me, when I think of the test level itself, the total T is not like that problematic. But when I think of the free T2 and the fact that this is like a chronic bleed throughout the day, you're not getting like dips and spikes like a natural production would normally be. You have this chronic bleed of 1,000 nanogram per deciliter constantly, regardless if you're sleeping, regardless if you're awake, and you don't have this regulating mechanism of binding protein, the sex hormone binding globulin, to regulate how much androgenic activity is going on everywhere. So you have like a high normal total, but then a disproportionately high free relative to the average person, and it's chronically elevated. It's not like it's going up and down, up and down. So on paper, maybe your total looks like it's acceptable, sure, but it's like in a, like there's something called the sympathetic nerve, like your sympathetic versus parasympathetic, and it's like your ability to rest and digest versus, you know, fight or flight, like, you know, ancestrally, if I was running from, I don't know, woolly mammoth, I don't know, like whatever it is. That kind of thing, androgenic signaling is going to play, like this is why pre-workout androgens are so effective at getting you like crazy motor unit recruitment and just snapping shit up and becoming like.
That's why I'm taking Halo before they go to the gym the last, like, say 4 weeks before a show, especially when I'm depleted, and I'm like, and I take the Halo and I'm like, okay, now I can go train at least. Even though I feel like shit, my body's just like, go. Yeah,
so when you have this lack of SHBG, not only is it not binding up as much testosterone as it normally would, but in addition to that, DHT, which is 5 times more, or whatever it is, androgenic than testosterone, which is a very, very potent androgen in your brain, as well as, you know, every other tissue in the body that it's affecting, that has a 5 times higher affinity to bind to that binding globulin than testosterone does. So without the SHBG, not only do you have this disproportionately high free T, your DHT free, your free DHT is also way higher than it would normally be. So you have like chronically elevated androgenic signaling in your heart and your brain, where I would not be surprised if it negatively affects somebody's sleep quality. It makes them more stressed out on a perpetual basis, more like on red alert, sort of like a self-induced state of like perpetual
an emergency's happening. You got the woolly mammoth, and it's sitting out your door, and you're like, is it going to come and jump on me all the time? So even when you're trying to sleep, you can't sleep. And for me, like when I take Tren, it's over. It's been the worst drug I've ever taken. It's like, I hate it. That's why I won't take it.
So I'm not saying that this would happen. This would just be a concern I would have if somebody was pushing if they were still trying to be like as healthy as possible. I don't necessarily know for certain that somebody could go up to 1,000 given they already have a borderline clinically low SHBG. You're probably going to make it worse by pushing your TRT higher to 1,000.
Yeah, it should go down slightly as you go up in the dose.
So we're going to go into like the single digits perhaps of SHBG. So we have like this hyper-androgenic environment plus a higher T and DHT, extra sympathetic drive going on perpetually because we don't have dips and, you know, spikes from natural production. It's chronically elevated. And we have this 24/7. I would imagine the increased stress in all organ systems, but in addition, like mainly your brain too, like being chronically kind of like redlined from the androgenic signaling, I imagine might have some negative impact down the line in terms of, I don't know, you know, I'm just saying like it would be something I would be concerned of, especially given the SHBG being so low. If you had more of that regulating mechanism, it was like closer to the middle, I'd be a bit less concerned because your body's like, that's literally how your body determines how much is going to the tissues. You know, but you don't have that. You just have like a free geyser of hormones going around. So you can't really control and regulate like how much is getting to where. You know, it's all freely circulating and you're perpetually kind of like red line mode. So for me,
so given that, like, so let's take this hypothetical case. Is there something else that could be done? For example, taking 10 milligrams of Anavar a day to add to that. Is there something else that could help build more muscle without making it too androgenic, I guess we could say?
Yeah. I don't know if I would add, like, yeah, Anavar would, like, obviously work. I don't think it's a sustainable thing long term to be on an oral steroid, obviously. Like, in an acute sense, if this is just like a short term thing.
No, I'm thinking like long term for life. Like, and I'm thinking more so like there's people out there listening, they're probably on HRT, but they're not happy. And people ask me all the time, I'm on this milligram and I'm going to blast, I'm going to do 750, and then I'm going to go back to 200 HRT.
We're back again with.
I'm going to go to 750, 200. I'm like, I personally, but this is the advice I give them. I'm like, I'd rather see you just do 250 year round rather than 200 and blast to 700 and go back and forth. If that lowest, whatever that lowest dose that makes you happy, I'm like, take that dose. That's advice I give to people all the time. Rather than blasting crews for health, I'd rather see you on a consistent level that the doctor will okay. That'll say, hey, you know, maybe it's not ideal, but it's pretty good. I'm acceptable on this right now. So, like, is there anything other than just upping that test dose that you could add in to give you that extra, let's call it 5 pounds of muscle that you could maintain year round?
Okay, yeah, there is, but first let me give the disclaimer for people watching, just so they don't take it out of context.
This is not real advice. It's a hypothetical.
And in addition to that, though, is me saying, like, I'm not saying don't go up to 1,000 nanograms per deciliter. Like, maybe some people need to go up that high even for basic symptom relief, not even just for muscle, like in a TRT context. Some people need more than others. So everyone has a different androgen receptor content. The dose for one guy is not going to be the same dose for another guy. And, you know, maybe it's totally fine. Like, ideally, that would be figured out through some sort of metrics. Like, I don't know, an Oura ring for sleep. You know, how is your deep sleep and REM sleep being impaired? Getting organ imaging, is your heart, you know, getting impaired by extra androgen exposure in some capacity? You know, there's ways to kind of like assess if it's okay. So I'm just saying, like, in the context of it might be okay, but those would be the things I'd be cognizant of that I mentioned earlier, like before going into it, just be aware of that stuff. But as far as things to layer on top of tests, like, personally, I think the lowest effective dose of multiple different vectors to achieve the same muscle growth outcome is superior to doing a high dose of, like, androgens versus, like, no, like, pH, no this, no that. There's a lot of different things you could be doing. And I'm not saying this because I'm in favor of GH necessarily. Because, to be honest, like, I know one of your other questions was, do I think it limits your lifespan? And I, if I was concerned about lifespan, I also would be, you know, very, very careful with GH too. But anyways, as far as a muscle growth context, what's the safest overlapping, like, comprehensive thing to do the lowest? Like, I would probably, like, a low dose of GH is going to compound the effects of testosterone pretty significantly in terms of proliferating satellite cells that will then have myonuclear donation.
We're back again with another Fnatic collab with Wemzy. So first you get this awesome box, still my favourite out of all of them. Extra feet, grips, braided cable, although not very flexible. Wouldn't recommend playing with it, but you can if you get caught between charges. And the mouse. So let's do a shape tool. Solid shell, holes in the bottom as usual for them, and the shape is pretty standard. Imagine the G Pro Wireless with the hump more toward the middle, and less gradual and slow. Actually, you could think of this as a smaller G Pro Wireless, but with the sides changed. Instead of being slightly concave, they're very slightly convex, so they have a slight bulbous feel to them, where they push out against your thumb and fingers. That means no little edge down the bottom either, which would have helped with downward force. It also doesn't feel as good, so I get why they didn't put that there. The back flows out a little bit for thumb and little finger comfort. It's a symmetrical design, so it's never going to be as comfortable as asymmetrical, but that said, they've done pretty well anyway. My criticism of this shape would be that it's a bit too generic. It's fairly safe and easy to use, it's good, but it feels like it hasn't been designed in a human hand. That bulbous feel probably made sense when you're working with it in 3D, but not in fingers. So instead of nice curves, we kind of have bulbous sides and top. It's not bad, but it could be better. Moving on to specs and dimensions, the standard size is about 46 grams. These won't be exact measurements, so grip width 5.6, length 11.85 centimeters, height 3.72, and button height 1.83. For hand size recommendations, it's not that big, so under 17.5 centimeters for palm, and in claw and fingertip, I'd say between 18 and 20 centimeters. And the X version, so the larger size is 48 grams, length 12.45, grip width 5.93, height 3.93, and button height 1.98. For hand size recommendations, it's of course bigger, so palm under 19 centimeters, and claw and fingertip I'd say 19.5 to 22. It's kind of similar to the Finamax Ultralight X Tiger, but a bit bigger, maybe more like the Zowie FK1 Plus. And a reminder to remove the plastic on the feed. I only got this size to check dimensions, so I haven't actually used it. I played with the smaller one, which is another reminder. I always recommend using smaller mice if you can, as I think they're easier to aim. Here's the standard version next to some other mice for an idea of the size. The X would be closer to the Death Adder in this case, and in testing sensor in game was all good as you'd expect these days. My only issue in game was the usual limbo jumps, but that's on all mice. Had a few extra on this one. I hope the mouse industry figures that out. So moving on to the buttons, here's a listen to the clicks. Left and right have a sharp sound to them and kind of loud. They're okay though. The wheel is fairly quiet and good, other than the limbo jumps, and the side buttons are pretty loud too, with a bit too much travel distance, but the click is pretty good, and latency seemed low in the bump test, maybe 1 or 2 milliseconds compared to the Death Adder. For build quality, despite the low weight, it's very well made. No creaks, cracks or rattles. The materials feel pretty good too. Matte plastic, seemed fine for grip. I can't really see or feel much texture on it, very smooth. For software, download Crystal Wireless from the website, pretty standard in there. As for where it ranks, well, it's a generic safe shape, but being safe and low weight, it will kick it up a bit. So I'm going to rank this highly for now, because it has everything right, but I would love to see some new and interesting shapes. That's the state of the mouse industry right now. You basically just need to know dimensions, hand size recommendations, and how the buttons sound and feel. The performance is good on most mice now, and the shapes are basically becoming all the same, so there isn't much difference. Which also means there's no real reason to choose one over the other than the price. So this isn't good news for us. Competition is good, but no one is just on price. So I'll leave that up to you to see what you can find in your country, but I really want to start seeing some more interesting shapes. Thanks to Fnatic for sending this out, and to Lamzu. All thoughts are my own of course. Usual links below, sub, like and share. Catch up.
Switching to Vodafone full fibre broadband is now as easy as pie. Ooh, freshly baked. It's a walk in the park. Hello, little fella. It's like taking candy from a baby. Come on, as if I'd do that. With One Touch Switch, it's easy. We sort everything out for you. We even call your current provider. Plus, we'll help towards any leaving fees. Switch today to full fibre broadband with Vodafone, the nation's network.
Credit of up to £100 to cover leaving fees. Visit vodafone.co.uk/broadband to find out about the switch process and for terms.
Allow you to create more ability for testosterone to bind to androgen receptors and cause muscle protein synthesis. That kind of thing is keeping your androgen dose the same, but literally creating more ability to create contractile protein with that same amount of testosterone with a dose of GH that maybe is like more benign than using higher androgens that have diminishing returns the higher you go. So it's like, GH would be something I'd potentially look at that I feel is...
So, for example, with GH, would it have to be at super physiological levels? Like, are we talking, like, could I be taking 1 IU of GH combined with 120 milligrams of HRT? Given that my IGF levels are normal, per se, like, and I'm not on growth hormone, although I've used it in the past, and I've used it in high doses briefly, never really noticed much of it. It's one of the most disappointing drugs I've ever done. But if I added that now, would it actually make a significant difference? And if so, what kind of potential dangers it might have for me for longevity? Like, I want to live to be 100. Yeah. So would 1 IU of GH, would that be dangerous? And would I need 2 to make that difference? Like, because 1 is pretty much just a replacement dose.
Yeah, so that's the thing that's hard when we're getting into like the blanket statements, because it's like some people hyper respond to GH where like this is the best thing ever, look how much of a difference it made. It literally mutated my physique from, you know, taking me from a top national competitor to now I'm like a good pro or something. But then guys, a lot of guys, not just you, even my experience with GH, and I'm, you know, obviously not a, you know, pro bodybuilder or anything, but some people respond not very favorably. They're like, why is this so hyped up? It's not that great. It's like an expensive fat burner in some cases. Like that's how some people think about it. And then the people who hyper respond to it are like, what are you talking about? Like, you're obviously like getting fake GH. Not the case. Some people just don't respond well. So it's like, in that case, if you're a guy who doesn't respond well to it, maybe that's not the thing to add. And yeah, you're definitely right in that, should you be using something to just replace your natural production? That gets into the discussion again of like, well, your TRT dose, replacing natural production, is that worth it? Is that helping you build more muscle than if you just like stayed natural? You got 120 milligrams. Like, there's definitely a level where the chronic exposure plus whatever equivalent IGF you get out of it or whatever is going to be more than whatever your natural production is. It's just about what dose you reach that minimum effective amount that's maybe not super physiological, but it's better within that therapeutic range of pushing you up to the top of it. So yeah, there's like definitely a dose. Maybe it's, you know, closer to, I don't know about you, but like everyone's liver is different in IGF response. But like for me, a few IUs of GH puts me at like close to like 400 to 500. Whereas for another guy, maybe not the case. Like it's even more wildly different than testosterone response when it comes to like what IGF your liver spits out. So I can't say for certain like what the dose would be, but like 1 IU in general, I think is seen as like replacement. And it's even harder to quantify because it's not like there's symptom relief when you take GH versus not necessarily for like what's the good dose. So I don't know. I think it depends. It's like largely, this was almost a question I was going to ask for you, is some guys don't respond to certain compounds. Does it make sense for those individuals to experiment with different things, given that certain individuals will hyper respond to an androlone versus a boldenone? Should you take the thing that's known to be safer just because it's more people use it, or should you experiment because maybe you're just like maybe you hyper respond to GH, or maybe you hyper respond to insulin or whatever? You know, like there's definitely an argument to be had for don't just use what everyone is using and like experiment, even if it might not be the norm for what your approach is. But anyway, like I know this is my question, circling back to my question, I think definitely my main approach is the minimum effective dose of however many vectors you can achieve an overall net max amount of muscle growth with the least side effect profile. So that would be, you know, the minimum effective dose of whatever androgens you're using, layered on top of the minimum effective dose of whatever growth hormone precursor you're using, layered on the minimum effective dose of something as basic as an L-carnitine potentially for androgen receptor upregulation, layered upon maybe you even add in a little bit of insulin to help with, you know, super saturating and getting, you know, some effect that you wouldn't otherwise be able to leverage through this. But that depends on the person. You don't necessarily need insulin, you don't need this, you don't need that, maybe you don't need any of that shit. I just prefer, rather than pushing androgens to the sky, and then once you've totally maxed that out because you have side effects, looking at the other stuff, I think everything should be like rock bottom, safe exposure, lowest effective dose, layer it up accordingly based on your goals, as well as what compounds you respond to. If something's totally useless for you, like don't use it. But rather than having all your exposure to something and once you've maxed that out, introducing the next thing, why not use the minimum effective dose that isn't causing your heart to grow because you're using fucking 3 grams of androgens before you go to GH, and maybe do, you know, 500 to a gram, and then you're layering on a little bit of this and a little bit of this and a little bit of this. So that's sort of my approach to PEDs in general, is like however many vectors you can achieve lowest effective dose of that you respond well to and is well tolerated. And however you want to interpret that in like the HRT context is kind of like, I would not be on an Anavar forever. I would not be on anything non-bioidentical ideally forever. There's nothing I would use that's going to stress out your liver, your kidneys, above and beyond. Something your body naturally produces is kind of what I would be looking to first. I would not be looking to, you know, like some HRT clinics literally prescribe oxandrolone, and I don't think it really has a place unless, like there's actually niche scenarios where certain individuals have such dysregulated SHBG production that they can't get it down unless they use like an oral agent, like a Proviron or an Anavar. And like 1 out of 1,000 guys on TRT might actually use like a background, like 5 to 10 milligrams of pharma grade oxandrolone to keep their SHBG lower so their test can actually work properly. But that's like such a weird scenario and not applicable for most people. But it's like, that's why it's hard to give blanket statement answers, because yeah, maybe like 1 in 1,000 some guy might need Anavar Forever to feel better. Not necessarily like maybe the healthiest thing for most people, but for one guy it might be applicable. So a lot of it is like literally you knowing how to interpret your blood work like insanely well, having a doctor who's like very, very knowledgeable and knows how is not going to judge you for what you're doing. It's going to work closely alongside with you to help you achieve high level quality of life, all your goals, whilst being mindful of health practices. And yeah, I think the lowest effective dose approach of bioidentical compounds and like layering it up accordingly based on goals is the smartest approach, rather than like, you know, arbitrarily using a higher dose of something and then waiting until you get side effects and then adding in something else. That's kind of like how I approach PEDs in general.
Yeah, I mean, it makes a lot of sense. Use really low doses of a lot of things at safe doses, rather than just try to, like, as you'd say, leverage one item at a higher dose that's probably going to be somewhat toxic to the body. Just get that low, really low where it's safe, and add as many things as you can in really safe levels and monitor that. That does make sense. And answering your question about the different products, like, everyone responds to things differently. Like, some people cannot take...
One thing I wanted to add at the end of the video, just because it's relevant to the topic at hand, is where to get high quality care and oversight. So I talk about how critical it is to find a doctor who knows what they're talking about, how to interpret your blood work and diagnostics, and make appropriate recommendations based on your individual...
Oh, wait. Should you maintain? Ooh. Should you cut? That sounds fun. How do you know when to do the various diet phases to couple them with your training for best long-term muscle gain and fat loss results? Well, wait no more. The answers are coming now. Here we go. Before we tell you if and when and how you should be bulking or maintaining or cutting, let's take a look at all three of the phases and explore a little bit of kind of what you're getting in each phase. Like, if you're telling someone who's never been to a restaurant before, hey, do you want burritos or pizza or Chinese food? They're going to be like, what are all those things? And we'll have to explain them so that they can make the right choice. Same idea with these phases. First, the muscle gain phase. The goal is to put on muscle, which automatically means that if you don't want to put on muscle, that's probably not the phase for you at this time in your life. The costs are that in almost every case, a muscle gain phase will cost some temporary, marginal addition of body fat, and will result in a higher level of training fatigue, because going hard in the gym absolutely beats you up, and a muscle gain phase is best done when you're going hard in the gym. The requirement before you start is that you have a good body image and low training fatigue. Let's take those one at a time. Good body image is because when you are going to be doing the muscle gain phase, some added body fat is going to be in the equation for at least a few weeks after the phase until you can diet it off. If your body image isn't amazing or the best it's been in a while, and you're like, hey, let me do this phase where I get fatter, it might not hit exactly as well as you had planned. But if you have really good body image, you're like, fuck it, I can gain a little bit of weight, I don't give a fuck, then you're at least in that respect ready to do another muscle gain phase. And low training fatigue means your joints feel good, you hear the rest of your body feels good, you're excited to train, your muscles can get a good pump really easily, you're not in this position where you're like, man, I want to gain muscle, but like, I don't feel like training that hard, I'm beat up and tired. Don't want to start a muscle gain phase like that, so those are prerequisite conditions in most cases for even thinking of starting a muscle gain phase. And the recommended duration of a muscle gain phase, if for most better outcomes, is somewhere between 12 and 20 weeks in length, which means if you do not have 12 to 20 weeks in length to dedicate to a muscle gain phase, you could still do one, but maybe it wouldn't be your best choice. Next, the maintenance phase. The goal in the maintenance phase is to recover from diet fatigue and recover from training fatigue. Now, maintenance phase here, we mean a dedicated phase that maintains your body weight but checklists a couple of actual goals. If you're just training and you're not dieting to gain or lose and you're just enjoying life, that is actually called the balance phase. It's not really a phase, it's just the balanced lifestyle. So that's its own thing we won't talk about. You might be in that phase. Most people are by default in a state of balance. So a maintenance phase, the goal is to recover diet fatigue that you accumulated in another phase, or recover from training fatigue that you accumulated in another phase, so that you can get ready to do another more productive phase, such as cutting or bulking, fat loss or muscle gain. Those are the meat and potatoes phases that actually drive change. The maintenance phase is like a cool-off phase. It's like if you're a really crazy, dedicated career person, that's what the weekend is. You don't do the weekend because some kind of want to go to a county fair or go to the park. You hate that shit. You want to be at your job making crazy, productive things for the rest of us, but you know that weekends are important to let you cool off, relax, so you can be ready on Monday to work hard again. Same idea for maintenance phases. That's what they are to muscle gain and fat loss phases. The cost of a maintenance phase is that you don't really see very impressive changes in your body. 1 week goes by, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks, 5 weeks in a maintenance phase, and you kind of just look the same. And that's a cost, because some of us really get addicted, in a good way many times, to like make shit looking different week to week in the mirror, and either fuller, rounder on a muscle gain phase, or leaner and sharper and more cut on a fat loss phase. On a maintenance phase, you just can't expect to see really cool results, because the fatigue and all that stuff that's decreasing is all under the hood. It's not super visible. The requirement before starting, not a requirement, but kind of the reason you would do a phase, and in essence a requirement. It's like, if you want to get your oil changed in your car, the requirement is that some amount of time has passed before your last one. Now, you can always just come in the next week after an oil change. You're like, hey, Bob, the mechanic, here to get my oil changed again. He's going to be like, is this one of those serial killer movies where you fucking come in too often and then on time number 3 you stab me in the eye? Why the fuck are you here? Your oil is totally fine. You can always come in earlier, but why, you know, when it was got the video, you know, cars, how often do oil changes?
This is how I say hello.
Google Pixel 9 Pro.
This is how I say hello.
Another muscle gain phase, and low training fatigue means your joints feel cranky, tired, hungry.
Alright, 12 weeks, 12 weeks. So, okay, so...
Hey folks.
I feel like most people, they get that. So anyways, as far as testosterone and how it feels, I feel like most people, they get that, like, literally feels like you hit puberty the first like 5 weeks, and then after that What's up, guys? Derek, more play.
Yeah, what's this mouse called? Mamba Snake X times attack shot. Mamba Snake X.
This might be the best $60 gaming mouse. This is the Attack Shark R6 Ultralight 39-gram mouse that is capable of 8,000 Hz cooling rate and up to 42,000 DPI while being completely wireless and having 100 million click switch lifespan. This might be the best $60 gaming mouse. This is the Attack Shark R6 Ultralight 39-gram mouse that is capable of 8,000 Hz cooling rate and up to 42,000 DPI while being completely wireless and having 100 million
Many people throw criticism of the X6. Honestly, the shape's totally different. It has many different areas. I will be giving over the differences and what I think they improved with, and just my general opinion on the R6 and who this mouse is for. So, the differences are pretty glaring. The side buttons are different. They're thick and bulky on the R6, while they're thin and have. I like these personally. People might complain that they're sharp and whatnot because of how big my thumbs are. These work really well in comparison. The sides on the X6 are flatter. The sides on here have a slope, and honestly, the mouse is thinner, so it's not as wide as the X6. So if you're coming from the X6 and thinking about upgrading to the R6, it's a totally different mouse. But I can see people upgrading to this just for the tech, because it is 100% a upgrade. But if your hand is too big and you think you're going to get the same experience you got with the X6, you're not going to. Honestly, the X6 was one of my favorite mice from Attack Shark, and is still one of my favorite chips. So, the other difference is no real aggressive grooves. There are grooves here, but they're not aggressive. These are very aggressive finger grooves. They also make it feel that it is lower down with the presses. People might like the grooves on this one more. They might like a higher press more. I don't really like the way this one is. The back hump is further back in the X6, while the hump on the R6 is more so rounded and long, where the R6 is aggressive. And so this slopes more to your hand, which feels more like palm, while the X6 props your hand up to a natural claw. So this might be more so natural for a fingertip claw mouse, in my opinion, than just a
118 by 60 by 38.
Or hybrid of a full fingertip slash just claw mouse. I still love this mouse, especially when I upgraded it. This is a very big letdown for me. It's the biggest letdown of the year, to be honest. That this thing actually get upgraded like this. So I was excited when this was announced. I bought this one, like I said, so I am going to complain. Things that they did right, the coding is really good. Attack Shark has actually been upgrading their stuff pretty aggressively as the time's going by. When I first bought a mouse, they didn't even have a website. They were going by like a sub company. You would have to download the program.
PlateSmartEats.com. Today we are going. I feel like most people, they get that like literally feels like you hit puberty the first like 5 weeks, and then after that. What's up guys, Derek, more PlateSmartEats.com. Today we are going to be talking about how does testosterone feel. So this is going to be sort of rounding out my series on how does blank feel. So different anabolic androgenic steroids. Testosterone not technically a anabolic androgenic steroid. It is the base androgen that a lot of these synthetic anabolics are derived from, however, and it is the parent of the family tree at the top, and all of these synthetic derivatives are from there. So even though testosterone derivatives are derived from testosterone, the DHT derivatives as well as the 19-NORs are all technically derived from testosterone as well, just with a bit more chemical modification. Because essentially, you know, you take the 5-alpha reduced metabolite of testosterone, DHT, and then from there you tweak that to make the DHT derivatives. 19-NOR testosterone is also an intermediary in the biosynthesis of estrogens in the body, and that is a bioidentical compound that comes as a root of the cholesterol steroidogenesis pathway as well. And that is based on the chemical structure of testosterone, just with a bit of chemical alterations as well. And then the 19-NORs are derivatives of that base 19-NOR testosterone molecule. So anyways, as far as testosterone and how it feels, honestly, it's pretty broad spectrum. It's almost like when you first start it, it feels like hitting puberty again. Like it's like you just fucking hit, like whatever age you hit puberty, it's like you did it again. You get that surge of like ridiculous fucking sex drive, fucking everything. And that sort of wanes though. It doesn't maintain this like hyper aggressiveness throughout the entirety of, you know, TRT or a testosterone cycle. You sort of have this like giant uptick where everything goes like hyper aggressive for like, I don't know, a couple months, and then after that it sort of wanes off. And this is like regardless of the dose, you don't just stay like hyper like puberty state the entire time. At least I didn't personally, and I feel like most people, they get that like literally feels like you hit puberty the first like 5 weeks, and then after that it sort of like becomes a bit more like you sort of acclimate to it, it becomes your new homeostasis, and it doesn't feel as like hyper, you know, adrenergic. It doesn't feel as hyper sexual. It just feels more like a high normal state. Like the best way I can describe it is literally like, you know, the saying people say, you know, I'm on TRT and my levels are high normal. Like that's almost like what being on TRT actually feels like. It's like you feel high normal. Like all your normal functions are just at a high level. Your neurological efficiency, everything feels a bit sharper. You feel a bit more, if you're going from like, let's just say like, I don't know, 450 nanograms per deciliter to 1,000, like, are you going to notice nothing even though you were normal before? Like, no, you're going to increase. You're going to notice a bit of a difference in certain neurological processes. Your sex drive is going to increase probably. Everything that you have that is normal to begin with becomes high normal. Just like your level on a piece of paper, a lot of your functions are just enhanced to a higher degree. Now, a lot of this sort of reaches a like homeostatic set point after a while where it just feels normal to you, but it's not necessarily the norm for most individuals. Like most individuals will not operate with this stationary, pulsatile secretion type way of creating testosterone. Like most people have a diurnal rhythm where their testosterone's up and down, whereas guys on TRT, high normal, or even guys on a testosterone cycle, your levels are basically have a slow bleed and they maintain like steady state concentrations the entire time, pending you're using a long ester or you're pinning frequently enough. So anyway, as far as like the sex drive, the neurological functions, I don't know how driven you are, motivation-wise, stuff like that. It all is just heightened to a higher degree. Like for example, when I did my DECA only experiment, one of the main things I noticed was like my drive, sort of like my oomph in life, was kind of just like numbed and like diminished. And this was the result of replacing TRT with nandrolone and having no testosterone in my system. And it was like, it wasn't like I was non-functional and unable to get myself to do tasks, but I was a bit less like, I had a bit less like drive behind it. And I don't know if this is, I would not be surprised if this plays into why females in general do not have the same like drive to become successful in certain like entrepreneurial areas than men. I'm not saying they're not capable of it. I'm just saying that in general, the majority of men, I feel like the numbers sort of outweigh women in terms of like successful men entrepreneurship wise versus successful women. It's sort of, I think the biology of the hormones literally just like dictates gender roles and kind of like drives you to do certain things that you otherwise, I guess like biology would sort of ancestrally would have driven you to anyways. Like, the caretakers are the ones who are lower androgens, and the ones that have a shit ton of testosterone are meant to go out there and fight and like fend for, the family and fucking, earn and do shit. So I don't know if this sort of like plays into it directly, but it's like I can tell there is a direct correlation between motivation and drive when I am like high T versus doing some fucking experiments with like an alternative HRT compound, or I'm like not, I don't know, like I'm letting my T crash for some reason or whatever. Like I've done a fucking lot of experiments. So, yeah, that's like honestly the broad spectrum enhancement of everything. Like energy systems are upregulated, your motor unit recruitment in the gym is enhanced, you're just like, I don't know, like just everything is sort of like, your adrenergic signaling too is like kind of enhanced to a degree that can be problematic because you sort of have sympathetic overdrive to some extent if you are chronically redlined at like 1,000 nanogram per deciliter test level. So it becomes a bit harder to shift into that state of like rest and digest and chill the fuck out. Like you're kind of a little bit more, not like on edge stress wise, like you can be, but I mean, and some people can't handle it. But in addition to that, it sort of just becomes a bit, the more androgens you have doing stuff, the more difficult it is for your brain to chill out. Like let's just put it that way. There's a reason why guys will take a fat dose of Anadrol or a fat dose of halotestin before a workout for Anadrol or before like powerlifting or some shit for halotestin. There's a reason why AR activation is such a potent driver of literal like anger in some cases and like fucking just absolute like aggression. Like that kind of stuff is driven through androgens, and having a higher amount of androgens in the body, even if it is bioidentical testosterone, thus 5-alpha reducing to DHT, that androgenic component can enhance, sympathetic drive and kind of keep it at a state of almost like over elevated to some extent for some individuals for a higher amount of time than would otherwise be best, suited for an individual who's like good at regulating feeling good, getting to a state of relaxation, and then getting into the sympathetic drive state they need when they're in the gym, and then chilling out after. It can be a bit more difficult to do that, but that sort of just plays into the manually maintaining your high androgen status on a daily basis 24 hours a day without letting it sink up and down like a diurnal rhythm. So I'm not saying it's a bad thing necessarily, but it almost requires more oversight in a, health aspect, to make sure you're able to facilitate certain processes that otherwise would be physiologically endogenously regulated, but now you're sort of like overstepping like certain processes and like rate limiting factors in the body by like just manually keeping your hormones like artificially elevated the entire time. In addition to that, you sort of intervene significantly with the synthesis of certain neurosteroid cascades, and it can result in, anxiety and certain things like that. So, obviously upstream management of steroidogenesis cascades via exogenous supplementation of certain things that may be necessary, like even progesterone for some individuals on TRT. Certain shit like that may be needed when you are manually shutting down your HPTA. So certain things to keep in mind, but in general, this video is getting a bit on a tangent about like what could go wrong with testosterone. What it actually feels like in general is just like a general enhancement of everything that is male. Your everything driven by estrogen kind of like upregulates. You have a significant increase in libido. Your DHT increases. You have a significant increase in everything I said. Neurological efficiency, fucking sex drive, muscle growth is more of the testosterone driven component. But in general, just overall like masculinity and overall motivation. Not that masculinity and motivation are intertwined directly, but I'm just saying you just have more of a oomph in your life. And that's more what it feels like. You are literally operating on a high normal state perpetually. And this isn't to say you can't get brain fog, you can't get thrown out of a rhythm, you can't be lazy, you can't be procrastinating. There's so many guys who are lazy fucking procrastinators on gear. Like how many bodybuilders are notorious for just like going to the gym, coming home and like yanking it and fucking playing Xbox? That's like, a lot of bodybuilders who do that on a, regular basis. And those individuals though, and those individuals have sky high T levels. Doesn't mean it just, you can still have poor lifestyle practices that will give you like shitty motivation, shitty, brain fog, blah, blah, blah. But testosterone simply will put you more in a baseline state that is compatible with a good lifestyle that will then drive that motivation. Like, it's not a coincidence that guys who have low T just have like, they often feel like no purpose in life. They have like brutal like mood regulation. They often feel like randomly depressed for no reason. Like there's a reason this shit happens, and largely ties into androgen regulation in men and how it sort of drives essentially everything you do neurologically, physiologically, literally like fucking manual energy output wise, a lot of shit like that. So I feel like I'm going on a bit of a tangent, but at the end of the day, it's not like it differentiates itself significantly from other compounds in some special way. I guess it does though, in the sense that it is broad spectrum, whereas the other ones kind of drive certain attributes in their own way. Like, one from a DHT derivative column might be, more, might enhance mental acuity and like motor unit recruitment to a more significant extent than a traditional, like a nandrolone, which might drive more of a, kind of like a chilled out, kind of like non-aggro kind of state of apathetic kind of nonchalantness towards life. It's more of a dulled meh about stuff, but it also is designed intentionally that way to reduce the androgenicity of the compound, as well as drive other things in the body, like literally driving a significant amount of volume into the muscles. One of the most volume driving compounds there is. But from a neurological aspect, it's totally different than a lot of the DHT derivatives in terms of how it affects your mindset, in terms of how it affects your acuity, sharpness, reflexes, even shit like this that is driven differently through these different compounds. But with testosterone, because it has that broad spectrum, 5-alpha reducing into however much DHT your body deems appropriate, it aromatizes into how much estrogen in tissues the body deems appropriate. The parent compound testosterone remains as testosterone to whatever degree your body feels appropriate. SHBG regulates the androgenicity of the body between DHT, testosterone, and estrogen. because they each have their own relatively different binding affinity too, and the SHBG determines how much of these compounds get delivered to certain tissues. This is all like a perfect balancing act, and is why testosterone of all the compounds has the most general, like, upregulating feature in the most like general broad spectrum way of all of them. And that is kind of the best way I can put it. It literally takes your normal state of a normal male and makes it high normal. If you have a better description, you know, drop it down there, but that is kind of how I feel about tea and kind of how I feel when I'm on it. So that's kind of the best way I can put it, you know. So anyways, let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. All the comments help the algorithm. They're much appreciated. And all of a sudden you're thinking about like scenarios in which are very unlikely to happen or just like aren't happening at all, and you're like, okay, this is definitely going on right now. So guys, Derek, moreplaysmoredates.com. Today we're going to be talking about what it feels like to be on trend. So this is a commonly asked question and something a lot of people probably speculate about on. I think I did a video reacting to Cody Ko and Noel talking about trend, and they were reacting to a guy like pretending to like do a trend or something in the shower or some shit, and they were like, I wonder what it's like to be on trend. I did a whole video about like trend cough and stuff like that. But anyways, as far as practical application, you know, like, is this stuff literally going to turn you into a psychopath or no? The best way I can describe it is whatever your, you know how you're like, there's no such thing as roid rage. It's only like, if you're a dick, it's going to make you more of a dick. And if you're not a dick, it's not going to be that bad. Like, it exaggerates your personality. That is, that's true for gear. Trend is like that to an even more greater extent. So it's like, and on top of that, it gives you a nice whirlwind of paranoia at the same time. So that is the best way I can describe it. If you are aggressive or a dickhead, it's going to make you more of a dickhead, and it's going to make your temper very short. Time for a meeting. Things that wouldn't otherwise annoy you, like when your friends are talking, they'll say something that's like a joke you didn't think was funny. All of a sudden, instead of just like, you know, brushing it off, you'll actually like call them out on it, be like, that was fucking dumb, pretty much. Or you'll just be really short with